Good morning. Well, it's good to see everybody out here. It's good to see such a big crowd. It's great to see such interest in our flight. I've heard this said before many times, and it really means something to me now. This crew is ready to fly, and we are just so excited about taking up the Chandra X-ray Observatory. The payload's ready, the upper stage booster's ready, the Columbia's ready, and this crew has been training so hard, actually over the past year and more. I'm so proud of them, and they're going to do a great job on the flight. And I'm going to give each one of them a chance to say something in just a minute. But I feel like there's something that I really want to say. We've built such a team over the past year plus on this flight. And I especially want to recognize the folks down here at the Cape, our engineers, our technicians, our management, everybody who's worked so hard to get our Chandra ready to fly, the IUS upper stage booster ready to fly, Columbia, and all the associated ground supports that we have for this mission. I just can't say more. You've done such just a wonderful job, and we want to recognize you and thank you for that. And also, I'd like to mention our folks back at Johnson Space Center, our flight controllers, flight directors, the engineers, the instructor teams, the folks up at the Operations Control Center in Boston, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and our folks out at Sunnydale. You've done a lot of simulations over the past year. They've been hard, but we've really learned a lot, and we want to say our thanks. We're really proud to be part of this very important and historic mission, and we want to share that with you. So come on out Monday night, and we're going to have a great launch, a great mission, and we'll be back 5 days later for a great landing. So thanks again.
Good morning. We launched from Houston this morning at about 4:15 and climbed to 41,000 feet, and we were cruising along under a very dark sky, but one full of stars. And as we cruised for about an hour under the stars there, I couldn't help but think to myself about the kind of things and wonders that were out there for us to learn, the things in our universe that we don't know about yet. And I couldn't help but feel very, very privileged to be a part of the team that's going to put Chandra up there to help unlock some of those secrets. And just want to thank you all for being here to celebrate this great moment with us.
Well, I guess y'all know that we take spaceflight pretty seriously, and we've been real busy back in Houston getting ready for this flight. And, all this week really having a series of review meetings, tagging up with our flight director, with our payload officer, with other folks at the center, making sure that we're all on the same track, and just going over, reviewing the plans that we have made about how we're actually going to deploy the Chandra X-ray Observatory. And in doing that, it takes lots of real serious thinking. Sometimes it's easy to forget that we're about to go and do an incredibly wonderful thing. And I'll just tell you that climbing into the airplane this morning, packing last night, realizing that I'd be back in just a week, just 5 days, but really a lot would have happened, hopefully, in that 5 days. Suddenly you start realizing that you're about to get on board a space shuttle and be on your way to space. And it makes you feel very, very, very special. And I'm just pleased to be here and very excited about deploying the Chandra.
Well, good morning. It's nice to see so many friends here today. My crewmates have said most everything, so I'll just add a couple of thoughts. I'd like to say a word about Columbia. We're all very privileged to get to fly Columbia. When we're down here for TCDT, we realized what most people say when they talk about Columbia. They talk about it being the oldest and the heaviest orbiter in the fleet. And I discovered as I get a little older and heavier myself, I kind of relate to that. So I feel good about our association with Columbia. The 90s has been referred to as the decade of discovery in astronomy, of course, with the advent of Hubble in 1990, followed by Gamma Ray Observatory, and, of course, some outstanding ground-based facilities like the Keck Telescope. And we're pleased to be able to participate in a small way in adding another great observatory to the constellation, of course, the Chandra. And as I was looking at the sky that Jeff described, I was thinking that it's actually not untrue that it's been almost 20 years that Chandra's been in development. If you think about the original conceptualization of the idea to now being ready to launch, and it's not unrealistic to think that Chandra could have a useful on-orbit lifetime of 10 or 20 years. So we're talking about a 30 or 40 year lifetime from original concept to end of useful life on orbit. And in all of that time, we get to personally interact with it for one day. Now that's a really important day for us, of course, but it's also an important day for everybody that's worked on the observatory all those years, because it represents a transition from those 20 years of anticipation and excitement and promise to 20 years of discovery and revelation about the universe. And everyone that's had anything to do with the observatory during that time, years from now, will be able to look back on what a tremendous accomplishment it was and how it enriched the lives of all of us on the planet. So I know I speak for the whole crew when I say how privileged we feel and how proud we are to get to have that one day with Chandra on Monday night. Anyway, thank you all for being here.
Good morning, bonjour. It has been very nice to spend 1 year and a half, almost 1 year and a half with my crewmates. As you see, they are very smart. Not only they are smart, but the rest of the mission, which is the orbiter, is in good shape, and the satellite we're going to send is very important, in a good shape also. This flight means a lot for myself, also for my country, France. Even if, as you know, France is not very helpful so far today about human space flight. But we are all born in cradle Earth, and nobody will prevent us of leaving this cradle Earth. So I just want to say you that I am proud to be part of a flight, and I will be very excited on Monday night to take off with this crew. Thank you.
Bye.